Today is Chinese New Year. Whatever it means, a lot of people don't know. We're here with Father John Mi Shen from China to share with us the meaning of Chinese New Year and what it means to a lot of people, especially Christians, Catholics in this part of the world. They're saying that the future of the Catholic Church, the Church, is in Asia. But what is Christianity? What is being Catholic in this very different culture? Father John, first of all, tell us about Chinese New Year. What are we celebrating during the so-called Chinese New Year?
Hello, I'm Father John Mi Shen from China. I'm very happy to share with you about the meaning of Chinese New Year. Actually, the Chinese New Year, by its name, the New Year in Chinese called Nian. In Roman alphabet is N-I-A-N. That's the name of a monster. That's according to the Chinese myths. This monster, at the end of the year, especially the last day, and then at the night, he will come and then, taking people away or eating the children in the village. And then people are afraid of this monster called Nian. So they, every time at the last day of the year, they make noise, like they fire firecrackers, or they making noise, so that the monster will be scared away.
So he will not.
Yeah, he will not enter the village. That's why when the monster ran away, we call it 过年, means the monster is running away. Mm-hmm. So that's why we call 过年. In Chinese, it's New Year. So in that way, I would say that New Year has, even in the myths, in the Chinese myths, it has a deep religious meaning, which means to cast out evil spirits,
yes,
and to live with the new spirit and spirit of hope. So that's why during Chinese New Year celebration, we still carry the tradition, like we play the firecrackers, we make noises at night, but most importantly, it is like we cast out the old spirit and bring the new spirit into the new year. Like we change new clothes, and then we clean the house,
yes,
and all these traditions actually communicates the meaning of this Nian. In Chinese we call 除旧更新, to push away of the old spirit.
So, Father, it's not really difficult for Christians to celebrate or to reconcile this non-Christian celebration to our church, to our faith.
Yes, of course. In missiology, we say that before the missionary arrives, the Holy Spirit has already working there. So I think the celebration of Chinese New Year is evident for that. As I just shared a while ago, the meaning of Chinese New Year is actually it has a very deep religious meaning, and also it also has a Christian taste.
Yes,
like this, like a push away of the old spirit and welcome the new spirit, living a new way. That's the Christian message.
Unfortunately, this past year, there's this evil, the pandemic, that tortured the world. So what's the significance of Chinese New Year this year during the pandemic?
Well, you are right that the last year people are really suffered with the COVID-19. The virus is really like a monster, you know. It was like the ancient times, people were afraid of the monster Nian. They lock their homes, they stay at home to keep them safe. And the past year, 2020, we are like avoiding the monster, not the Nian, but it's called the COVID.
Yeah.
But I think in in the midst of this COVID, this pandemic, it is rather more meaningful when we celebrate New Year, because we have to remember, no matter how serious or how difficult, how challenging the monster of COVID is, with God's grace, with the wisdom that the Holy Spirit has given to us, we will eventually conquer the COVID.
Yeah.
So celebrating New Year again is celebrating of hope,
Yeah.
and celebrating of God's grace. And then another thing is the New Year celebration. It is just like our New Year on January 1. It's actually the same thing. It's a time for family reunion. It's a time that for the family to be together and to face the challenge together. So I think, celebrating the New Year in the pandemic is actually more meaningful than any other year.
Actually, I was not preparing for this next question because my attention was just caught by this image.
Okay.
And you were talking about monster and
Yeah.
hope.
Yes.
What is this image all about? What is this lady?
Well, this is the image of Our Lady of Shechem. As you know, that there are only two basilicas or Marian shrines recognized by the Universal Church, by the Holy See. And the first one is Our Lady of Shechem in Shanghai. And this is the image of Our Lady of Shechem. The specialty of this image is you can see that Our Lady carries Jesus on top of her head. That is the traditional way the Chinese mom used to carry their baby.
The children?
Yeah. And then this statue is on the top of the basilica, on the only hill in Shanghai. That's the highest place. That's the highest place. So I would say that this, when you see this image, baby Jesus is a symbol of new life, is a symbol of hope.
Yeah.
And then it's being carried by Our Lady on the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
It's blessing the whole world, blessing the whole city, blessing the whole humanity. I think it's really a sign of hope, especially during this pandemic.
Yes, it's really symbolic.
Yes,
That's why it caught my attention.
Yeah.
Going back to the pandemic, Father, it has changed a lot in this world in the past year, or just 12 months. But it changed a lot, not only the economy, but the way of life of people, and even of the practice of people's faith.
Yes.
What are the challenges that you missionaries, you priests, the Catholic Church are facing in the midst of pandemic?
China started the pandemic last year, last January. So we were the first being attacked by the COVID. And then, of course, the church activity was suspended.
Yes.
Churches were closed. And then public service, masses were also suspended. But I see one very interesting phenomenon it is like we are going back to the early stage of Christianity.
In China?
In China. Because we are going back to the catacombs, we are going back to the family, to our houses. Though we are not able to go for regular masses, but very touchingly that in China, especially in my place, families and they start to celebrate the liturgy of the word in their home. Just today, the Facebook sent me a reminder of one of my posts last year, and the photos that people celebrating the liturgy of the word in their home. Little kids, they presiding the liturgy of the word, reading the Bible, and then also the whole family, handwritten, hand copying the Bible.
So like in the olden times?
Yeah, exactly in the olden times. I think during 4 months of lockdown, and some families finish 3 books
of the Bible.
Acts of the Apostles, Gospel of Mark, Gospel of Luke, handwritten. It's really inspiring. Really
interesting.
Yes, I sent those photos to Vatican, and they published in their Instagrams last year. It was really inspiring.
The coming year, Father, is there hope? Of course, we always say there's always hope, but practically, what are the things that we are going to do? How do we overcome all these challenges, not only as faithfuls, not only as people of God, the church, but as Asians, as individuals?
In connection with the Chinese New Year celebration, I think it's closely connected with what we call, we have to forming ourselves a proper disposition when we encounter challenges. I think that's one of the legacy of the Asian culture, because Asian people, in history, we have been underwent a lot of challenges, disasters, and problems in our history, but the family is really our backup, and then also our close relationship with God, because most of the religion are originated from Asia. I think this pandemic brought us to things which are essential, like the family value, like the importance or essential rule of our faith, our relationship with God. I think these are the core spirit or core value that sustain us and supporting us as Asian to confronting with the challenges brought by this pandemic. In another way, that we are spiritually prepared. We are supported by our family, by our loved ones. We cannot face the challenge alone, but with our family in our back and with God at our back, we can, strive, we can endure for anything that comes, on our way.
That's very inspiring, especially this New Year. Can we greet our audience?
各位主内的兄弟姐妹，祝大家新年快乐，恭喜发财。2021年是一个特别的年份，我们刚刚经过了2020年，有新冠肺炎的疫情，我们大家的生活都多多少少受了很多的影响。那么，希望在新的一年里，靠着天主的助佑，我们能有一个新的开始。不要忘记，我们跟我们的家人在一起，天主也跟我们在一起。那有天主的地方，我们就有力量去面对生命中所经历的一切。我们怀着这样的希望，在天主恩宠的助佑下，一起来迎接新的一年，2021年。祝大家新年快乐，恭喜发财。
Thank you very much, Father, and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. 恭喜发财。
恭喜发财. And this is Up Close with Joe Torres.